Welcome to yet another episode of the Motor Week. I'm your host, Juma Sheila. We have a lot in store for you, but first, let's take a look at the highlights. On the first part of this show, you'll get to know about the history of the Safari Rally in Kenya. Next, I will tell you why Mclaren missed its efficiency targets at the start of Formula One season 2023. Then later on, we'll recap the story of the Formula One pre-season testing in Bahrain. And finally, on our car profile segment, we'll feature the Red Bull RB19. Safari Rally was first held in 1953, where Carl Tundo and Shehar Mehta emerged the most successful competitors. Here is more of that story. The Safari Rally was first held in 1953 as the East African Coronation Safari in Kenya, Uganda and Tanganyika as a celebration of the coronation of the late Queen Elizabeth II. In 1960, it was renamed the East African Safari Rally and kept that name until 1974 when it became the Kenya Safari Rally. Held on roads still open to the public, it became notorious as the toughest round of the WRC. Tough conditions and constantly changing weather and more than 5,000 competitive kilometers made simply finishing an achievement. The event adopted a special stage format in 1996, and from then until 2002, it featured over 1,000 kilometers of timed tests. The rally left the WRC in 2002 and returned in 2021 with a successful event held on the floor of the Rift Valley in Naivasha, Nakuru County. It was won by Julien Ingracia and Sebastian Oga in their Toyota Yaris. Kenyan drivers Shehar Mehta and Carl Tundo have been the most successful competitors with 5 outright victories each. The 2022 edition was a successful one and it was won by Kel Rovanperä from Finland. This year's rally is scheduled for 22nd to 25th June. This year's Safari Rally is scheduled for 22nd to 25th of June. Moving on, Mclaren is bracing for a tough start to the Formula One 2023 season due to a sluggish MCL 60. At McLaren's 2023 launch, the team realized it was in for a tough start to the new season because it found it had missed its aero targets. Last week's 3-day Bahrain test has gone well, but it also confirmed the team's expectation that just like last year, it will start 2023 with a car that is too inefficient and therefore generates excessive drag for a given downforce level. Succeeding a 2021 car that was actually known for its excellent straight-line speed, the 2022 MCL36 was also known to be rather draggy, which forced trade-offs between top speed and optimum downforce levels. It led to aerodynamic efficiency to be one of the priorities to address this year. But soon after putting together the launch of the new MCL60, McLaren realized it had gone wrong direction and left a lot of performance on the table. It will have to wait until its first major upgrade, which is planned for the Baku round at the end of April. We hope the upgrade will be made well for the team to meet the efficiency targets. On our recap segment, Sergio Perez led the timesheets for Red Bull at the pre-season testing in Sahir, Bahrain. Sergio Perez led the timesheets for Red Bull from Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes as pre-season testing ended on Saturday in Sahir, Bahrain. After 3 days trying out their 2023 cars in the desert, all the signs are that Red Bull will be hard to deny next Sunday in the Bahrain Grand Prix, the first of a record 2023 race season. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc says that Red Bull seemed to be very strong. This is after Red Bull's Max Verstappen had been quickest on the first day of testing. Testing concluded with Perez 0.359 seconds up on Hamilton as Verstappen sat out the final day. Valtteri Bottas Alfa Romeo occupied third from Leclerc and Carlos Sainz in the second Ferrari, and Japan's Yuki Tsunoda of AlphaTauri finishing sixth. Aston Martin's Felipe Drugovich, who has stood in for Lance Stroll, missing after a cycling accident. Drugovich is set to substitute for Stroll if he'll still be unfit for next weekend's opening round of the season. We're looking forward for the Formula One opening round of the season, scheduled for 3rd to 5th of March 2023. On our profile segment, we'll feature the Red Bull Racing RB19. Red Bull Racing RB19 is a Formula One car designed and constructed by Red Bull Racing, which will compete in the 2023 Formula One opening round of the season. The car was unveiled in New York City on 3rd of February 2023. It marks the return of Honda as a named engine supplier to Red Bull and AlphaTauri, with both teams badged as Honda RBPT. It's powered by a 1.6-liter direct injection V6 turbocharged engine limited to 15,000 revolutions per minute, weighing 798 kg. The RB19 will be driven by world champion Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez in the 2023 Bahrain Grand Prix. That's how we call it a wrap on today's episode. Be sure to tune in on Kelele TV for this and much more. I've been your host, Juma Shila.